Joe Biden, as most of you know at this point, tested positive for COVID just hours after he said, if a doctor finds something wrong with me, I might drop out. Convenient timing because he has since tested positive. But here is a piece of sounds that is truly stunning, even by MSNBC standards. Here's Joy Reid describing the situation as it pertains to Joe Biden getting COVID and comparing that, yes, to Donald Trump taking a bullet to the side of his face. Yeah, that's true. Here it is.
That I have on that. These two men are both elderly. Donald Trump is an elderly man who, for whatever reason, was given 9 seconds to take a iconic photo op during an active shooter situation. Weird situation. We'll figure that out one day. But his survival of that and bouncing right back and going right to his convention is being conveyed in the media world as a sign of strength. This current president of the United States is 81 years old and has COVID. Should he be fine in a couple of days? Doesn't that convey exactly the same thing? That he's strong enough, older than Trump, to have gotten something that used to really be fatal to people his age. So if he does fine out of it and comes back and is able to do rallies, isn't that exactly the same? I mean, it's not exactly the same. It's not the same incident, but it's an elderly man coming through out of an illness.
It should.
Yeah, Psaki is like, how do I get out of this with my career? How do I get out of this with my career?
Guy took a bullet to the head. A bullet to the side of his head. You're going to say surviving that is exactly the same, shows exactly the same strength as surviving COVID, which, yes, 3.5 years ago would have posed a statistically significant risk to an 81-year-old. But as she even says there, it once did. At this point, especially since I'm sure Biden is up to date on all of his vaccines, which you are recommended to get according to the CDC. So check out the CDC for all their recommendations and follow them very closely, please. The guy took a bullet, a fucking bullet, a bullet to the head. You're gonna say that's the same, exactly the same as getting COVID? And Psaki, I mean, you talk about a deer in the headlights look. Are you really going to toss to me now? Are you seriously going to toss to me now?
He's strong enough, older than Trump, to have gotten something that used to really be fatal to people his age.
Yeah, it used to be.
So if he does fine out of it and comes back and is able to do that.
She's like, oh my God.
You
didn't. You didn't.
In our context, in our world, not broadly speaking, but in the YouTube commentator space, that still right there is as iconic as Trump with his fist in the air after getting shot. You're going to talk. Look at that face. That says it all. Wow. And Psaki, listen, these people are corrupt. They're dishonest. But one thing you can never say, don't ever tell me again about Jen Psaki, that she is not loyal. That is loyalty, to react like that. And then when she tosses to her, be like, yeah, you're right. I mean, that shows camaraderie. That's camaraderie right there. That you would back her up, that you would yes and her there. Because I wouldn't do that for you, Russell. I wouldn't do that for you.
Well, I know you wouldn't. You haven't.
And it sounds like you're not even going to do it for me. You're not even going to back me up on this.
I'm not backing you up. I'm not backing you up.
This is what I mean. There's no loyalty. Why aren't you more like Jen Psaki?
I'm just, man. You
should be more like Jen Psaki and stick up for your partner.
I cannot wait for Tusker to take your chair.
Look at this backstabber.
Cannot wait.
Can you believe this? Can you believe this?
Bring a little freaking material analysis to this show.
Yeah.
I think that MSNBC, based on how they have reacted when people have been fired from MSNBC, most recently their Muslim colleagues, but before that, anyone who ever suggested that capitalism may not be all it's cracked up to be, or that endless war might not be a good thing. None of them have ever spoken up for them. That place is a snake pit. It's a snake pit. I'm sure Joy Reid has a lot of institutional power there, and you don't want to fuck with her. She'll shiv you in the shower. So Jen Psaki is in a position there. I would read it as, okay, so how do I not lose my career and not piss off Joy Reid, who has a lot more status and connections around this joint than I do.
All right, let's see it one more time. Let's see it one more time.
Than Trump to have gotten something that used to really be fatal to people his age. So if he does fine out of it and comes back and is able to do rallies, isn't that exactly the same?
I
mean, it's not exactly the same. It's not the same incident, but it's an elderly man coming through out of an illness.
It should.
It should.
Yeah, no, it shouldn't, because listen, you're talking about two completely fucking different things. Nobody is saying, wow, it's remarkable that Donald Trump could get a little nick in the ear and still campaign. It's about the psychology of it. It's not about the physical aspect of it. And now it's two completely different things.
I mean, there is a bit of a physical aspect to it. I mean, he took a bullet in the ear. I mean, I mean, a bullet.
Yeah, but that's a cosmetic injury. It's not a fundamental injury. It's not like he took a bullet in the kidney.
Well, that's true. I mean, all right, I will give you that. Like the psychology of coming within an inch from death.
That is what people are really looking at when they say, well, hey, that takes a lot of strength. They don't mean because of the physical element of it. It's the mental element of you almost got assassinated and you're right back out on the road. The fact that he has COVID, like it's not even a comparable thing, aside from it being a batshit thing to compare just in any sense. Even on that level, it's a nonsensical comparison.
Yeah, absolutely wild. Absolutely wild. That was something.
Well, this is what happens. I mean, you talk about being in our space, and it gives you some perspective on the interplay between what you say, what you cover, and the audience that you have a relationship with. MSNBC is what happens when you have no ethics about what you say. You're just performing. You have no particular morals about it, and you're being paid just to feed a monoculture of an audience the craziest takes that you can come up with that are going to really satisfy them and keep them coming back for more. That's what you get. When you have no morals combined with a crazy audience, you get MSNBC.
Yes.
Please clap.